Guys, well, I'm sure you recognise this pair. This video is going to be a little bit of whimsy, really. I knew that Donald Trump was a Gemini, but I was listening to Boris talking the other day, and he was talking so much waffle, and then I heard this sort of like report that he's going to get really involved in sorting nature out in the UK because his girlfriend's into nature. So he's a whimsical piece of fluffery, really. And I thought to myself, he's got to be another Gemini. Surely to God, he's not another Gemini. So yes, I looked him up and he is. So Geminis 1 and 2. Twin Geminis. So here's Donald Trump. So he was born on June the 14th. Now I feel well qualified to talk about Geminians because I'm a Gemini and I'm bang slap in the middle. I'm June the 10th and I share my birthday with His Royal Highness Prince Philip, who's poorly at the moment. So he's Gemini with Leo rising. Now I'm not sure if I'm Leo rising or Libra rising. It all depends on what time of birth I'm given by my mum. But yeah. So his rising sign of Leo and the Sagittarius moon. But more importantly, Geminians are talkative, and I think a good way to describe us is that we know a little bit about just about everything, and a lot about not a lot. So we sort of tend to wing it through life, and I think a lot of Geminians have got this ability to sort of get places because they think they can get them. They think, oh, I can do that. I could do that. And then you get there, and then you get it, and you think, well, yeah, I knew I could get it. I knew I'd get this job, or I knew I'd get this position. And then when you get it, you don't know what the heck to do. You don't know what to do. But you manage to get it by looking as if you could do it, saying the right things, having the right people about you, Manipulative. Tricksters of the zodiac are the Geminians. I work on improving myself constantly. Now, Boris's chart, it's extremely interesting. Now, there he is, little Geminian, blonde Gemini twins. This lady, Jessica Adams, really sort of goes into this. So, Boris's birthday is 19th of June. So he's 5 days after Donald, who is 4 days after me. So he's the 19th of June, 1964. He's 10 years younger than me. Donald is 10 years older than me. Philip is up there, nearly 100. Right, here we keep going. So, Boris has Scorpio in his chart, and he's long been associated with marriage and mortgage and blah, 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 blah. Here's the bit I want to put in. He's written a book, Blonde Ambition. He's written a couple of books. Right, here we go. It is typical of astrology, which rests on synchronicity, that in this fantastically entertaining and informative book, Johnson should reference Jupiter, as he was known to the Romans Jupiter Optimus Maximus, and at the very minute he is announced as new Conservative leader and new British Prime Minister, it should be Jupiter, which lines up exactly in Sagittarius at 15 degrees, perfectly quincunx the midheaven, or MC over London at 15 Cancer. Now, I don't understand astrology. Of course, I believe it works. I understand about energies and conjunctions and influences, but as soon as it comes to angles, degrees, nodes, conjunctions and numbers, something happens in my brain and it just ceases to work. So nothing could be more fitting. Likely the only British Prime Minister who have ever written a book which darts around zodiac signs and planetary archetypes comes into power as Jupiter himself in the sign of foreign relations. Sagittarius aligns with the midheaven, the highest point of achievement in the sign of patriotism. And he also chose the eagle, Jupiter's bird, to decorate the end pages of his book. So he sees himself as Jupiter. So he's got a Gemini overload. And London is a Gemini city. We'll go back to that. Here's his chart. So he's got a lot going on this side and a lot going on that side. And if you're an astrologer, you can work it out. I could see a lot of lines, a lot of shape. Look at this in here. It's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave the link to this because it's an interesting breakdown of our BoJo. Right, London is a Gemini city, according to astrologer William Lilly. Now, all this Boris stuff and all this stuff all sort of came up around the same time I was looking at that narwhal tusk and unicorn sort of connection. And I realised that there was a lot of dualism in that narwhal attack. There were 2 narwhal tusks. Knifeman had 2 knives. Darren had 2 R's. There have been 2 attacks on London Bridge. I'm sure there's lots more doubles there. So twins, doubles, and now I'm finding out that London is a Geminian city. So William Lilly, let's get to William Lilly. Now, this is fascinating. I hadn't heard of this guy, so I'm going to have to do a video about him. He predicts the fire of London, and he does it really well. He does it with astrology, yeah. Here. Mercury in Libra, Sun in Virgo, Jupiter in Pisces, Moon in Pisces. So, yeah. But I'll read it again because he thought it'd be suspected of starting the fire because he'd worked it out so well. So, yeah. I will do a complete video on this William Lilly. Here's his prediction. And I'm just going to try and find this bit where he says, here we are. There are 7 people in this drawing. 1 for each known planet. The Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn. The 2 babies suspended upside down above the fire represent the sign of Gemini, believed to be the traditional ruler of London. Opposite to the children at the bottom are 5 logs burning in a fire. Turned sideways, the Roman letters 1XV appear. Yeah, you're supposed to read these alchemical drawings from a variety of angles. As this is not a Roman numeral in this form, it must be reinterpreted. It could either stand for 1X, V meaning the numerals 9 and 5, the 9th month and 5th day. So, Geminian city, Geminian Prime Minister, Geminian President. Let's keep going. Can't remember what's next. Oh yes, this is good. So, this guy here, Barry Goddard, astrologer, Boris Johnson and Donald Trump, Gemini Tricksters. Gemini, more than any other sign, is a trickster archetype. In public life they do and say things that upset the status quo. This is the story of my life. It's almost like a form of social Tourette's. If there's something wrong to be said, a Geminian will say it. And it's also another trait of the Geminian is that they can't make a decision. We can't make a decision. We can see both sides of an argument. We'll see, but it's wishy-washy, unfocused. They keep us entertained, they appall us. We wouldn't trust them as far as we could throw them, and sometimes it can seem like fate is intervening, as though Geminis are a vehicle for bizarre, rule-breaking events. With Sun conjunct Uranus, another trickster, as is Eris and North Node in Gemini, as is Node stuff. It is Donald Trump's destiny to upset the status quo. American politics will never be the same again. There's his chart. As a human being, I hold him in poor regard. Politicians are usually in it for a reason. They are trying to do something that is useful. Oh, he really doesn't like anyway. He's going moan. He's really singing for Trump. I do find it hard to see. And in the UK we have Boris Johnson, another Gemini. His behaviour over the EU referendum was classic Gemini. He couldn't make up his mind until the last minute. Typical Geminian. Typical. It just changes on... It could change on a sixpence. In the end, he told the Leave campaign in opposition to the Prime Minister. He told a whopper about using money. Like a good Gemini, he is now well known for this piece of exaggeration. He has a moon in Scorpio. Well, mine's in Libra. Well, depending on, complicated chart. He has Sun in Gemini. There's lots of node stuff. Maybe he really does want to improve the NHS. So, yeah, we go. So, pair of tricksters. Next along. Yeah, the tarot. So the ruling planet of Gemini is Mercury. Mercury is symbolised by Hermes. Well, there's two ruling planets. We got Mercury and Virgo. So we got Venus as well on the go. So Hermes, the winged god. This is a really nice breakdown of the Crowley Tarot. I have the Crowley Tarot. And it's really, really simple breakdown of it. So let's just go down a bit. We've got sun disc, the serpent disc, geometric rays, coin, fire, glass, sword, arrows, parchment, and it tells you everything. The explanation. Context, trickster. The Magus Thoth is related to the alchemists Mercurius and to Hermes of Greece, the guide of the soul, a master of every intersection. His dark feature is balanced by the devil card. In times of social upheaval, for example, there are increased those deceivers, idiots, crazy people, clowns, comedians, stage artists, singers and dancers. The entertainment and satirical writers wake up the growing concerned, and alternative lifestyles are found and tested. Contradictions are obviously standing side by side. Everything becomes possible. Hermes. Trickster Tarot. And then, of course, Hermes is an androgynous figure, as in hermaphrodite. Hermetic Androgyne. Creation myths often evoke well-marked imagery reflecting a perception of the primordial union. The term androgyne is defined as an individual possessing the attributes of both male and female, a hermaphrodite. But in this form of alchemy, they talk about it as being a spiritual sort of balancing, sort of the notion of bisexuality in the universal manifestation of the being is encountered in many different parts of the world. We find depictions from China to India and from Chaldea to Greece, perceiving in the androgynous myth not only an expression of the principle but also of the controlling spiritual energy and sublimated sexuality. So the androgyne in Hinduism is represented by Ardhanarishvara, and it's really, really interesting. This is the caduceus of Hermes with the twin serpents. It's all about Mercury and Gemini is all about twins and dualism, trickster mentalities. Oh, this is crazy. This is a couple Pandrogyne project. So they got so close, this couple, that they decided that they wanted to look alike. So let's just move it through. It's a very short video. This is extreme. He looks quite a sort of bit older than her, but there we go. Now she's having a nose job. And here we go. Here, look, see there. And here's, I don't know what she's talking about here. She's talking about getting it together with him, I think. But yeah, it's all a little bit like we got on well, and we decided we wanted to look the same. So I had plastic surgery, and oddness. And on the 2nd of January, which isn't far away, 2020, we got a Mercury, Gemini, conjunct Jupiter, which Boris considers himself to be. So this might be a little bit interesting, yeah? Okay, so I came across some other whimsical things on the way. So red and blue and the Kachinas, yeah? All sort of like coming together. So that would be Sirius, and that would be the Nibiru, the destroyer. Yeah, Hopi Prophecy. And I just wanted to show you my chart. That's mine. Yep. I think that's mine. Is that Donald's? Yeah, that's mine. And that's Donald's chart. Donald Trump's chart. So look, they're not hugely different, are they? He's got a little bit more going on up here, I think, but that and that is sort of the same. I don't know. And just in case any mistakes were made and Labour should have got in, Jeremy Corbyn's Gemini as well. 26th of May. So it was a done and dusted Gemini double act. And what was this one? Yeah. So it was another observation, just noticing that we got Gemini twins who are quite possibly the worst people I would have thought to be rulers. It's like, I don't know. And, it's too much whimsy, too many sort of like silly decisions, taking too long. I don't know. Incredibly manipulative, incredibly charming, great actors, fantastic actors. So, yeah, this is what we're dealing with. Maybe there is some as above, so below weird symbolism going on with the red and the blue. I wouldn't put anything past them at this point. Events are really hurtling forward now. The sky's, well, off the scale. And here we go into Christmas, the biggest distraction of the year. And 2020 on the horizon. So I'm not looking for this stuff. It's just sort of like coming to me. And if anybody's got any feedback or any more ideas around this, it'd be great. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. And it's a really, really nice day. I think we got some clouds, but I don't know. I'm made a bit of a loose end. I was supposed to do something today. I was supposed to courier a friend onto a train who's going away for Christmas because he's not very well, but unfortunately he's too well to travel to get to London for me to courier him, and I'd sort of like planned the day around that. So this is a little bit off the cuff. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Speak soon.